I must reveal something to you that, until exactly 72 hours ago, was a closely guarded secret known only to 14 highly positioned individuals throughout the world. I fully recognize that by sharing this with you today, I am putting everything at risk: my career, my well-established reputation, and potentially even my safety. However, before we embark on this astonishing journey together, I need you to do something. Please take a moment to head to the comment section and indicate the name of your city. Additionally, I want to know if you've observed anything peculiar or out of the ordinary in the night sky recently. Have you noticed any flickering stars that pulse with a strange rhythm, or any lights that simply shouldn't be present? I must inform you that NASA is currently gathering this vital data. What they are uncovering is profoundly unsettling to our existing scientific frameworks. So, I urge you to participate now, because what I'm about to disclose could fundamentally and irrevocably alter your perception of humanity's true position in the expansive universe. I'm Michio Kaku, a theoretical physicist, and for over 5 decades, I have devoted myself to studying the intricate, vibrating fabric of spacetime, the elusive nature of parallel universes, and the complex mathematics of consciousness itself. Throughout my career, I've offered counsel to high-level governments and collaborated with some of the finest minds in fields like cosmology, quantum mechanics, and astrophysics. With absolute certainty, I can say that nothing in my entire career could have prepared me for the monumental event that unfolded near Jupiter just 17 days ago. The situation began with what is universally recognized as 3E Atlas. You may remember hearing its name in the news. Back in late 2019, astronomers at the Atlas survey in Hawaii discovered what they initially labeled as another ordinary interstellar object, the second one ever tracked successfully passing through our solar system. After the enigmatic Anomaly, they named it Comet 3 Atlas. Confidently, they deemed it unremarkable, insisting it was merely a frozen lump of ice and rock from a distant stellar system, aimlessly journeying through the cosmos on a chaotic path that would carry it past our sun and back into the infinite darkness. However, they were fundamentally mistaken. We were all hopelessly incorrect. 3E Atlas was not a comet at all. It wasn't just ice, nor was it simply inert rock. 17 days ago, while it crossed into Jupiter's powerful gravitational pull, something dormant within it sprang to life. That it was exactly 2:47 a.m. when I received a call while sitting quietly in my office at Princeton. The voice on the secure line was from someone I had collaborated with for years at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, a colleague I trust implicitly and who is not given to exaggeration. Without even identifying himself specifically, he whispered, "Mitch, you need to see this immediately. We have a Code Terminus event happening right now near Jupiter." The phrase Code Terminus is something I had only encountered once before, deeply buried in a classified briefing document I wasn't authorized to read years ago. This is NASA's internal top-tier designation for an extraterrestrial intelligence event of catastrophic importance, the type of world-altering discovery not shared at a press conference. Such knowledge is confined to lead-lined vaults and only discussed within secure, soundproof rooms devoid of windows. I reached JPL within a few urgent hours. Upon entering the main operations center, the room was eerily quiet, not the silence of focused scientists diligently tackling a complex issue, but a heavy, oppressive hush of individuals who have gazed into the abyss and grasped, with sobering dread, that it was staring back at them. Displayed on the main screen was a high-resolution image from the James Webb Space Telescope, oriented directly at the coordinates where 3 Atlas had been meticulously tracked. What I observed on that vast screen contradicted every principle of astrophysics that I had ever taught or written about. There was a tearing in space not metaphorically or theoretically, but a literal rupture in the seamless fabric of spacetime, located roughly 800,000 kilometers from Jupiter's outer magnetosphere. It resembled a dark spiraling opening, akin to a gaping wound in reality itself, encircled by concentric rings of distorted light as intense gravitational lensing bent photons around its edges. This rupture spanned approximately 42 kilometers at its widest and was expanding at a steady rate of 6 centimeters per second. Initially, that may not sound alarming, but in the vacuum of space, where no barriers exist to halt it, that rate of expansion poses a truly horrifying threat to our solar system. At its current pace, the rift would reach a critical mass, precisely what we conservatively estimate could destabilize Jupiter's delicate orbital mechanics within 96 days. Here lies the detail that chilled me. To my core, the rift was not random. It wasn't a natural phenomenon. Upon thoroughly analyzing the spectroscopic data, we detected something that simply should not exist. An organized electromagnetic signature emanating from the edge of the aperture at precisely 1.42 gigahertz. This is the hydrogen line frequency, the universal indicator that every single radio astronomer in the galaxy would immediately recognize as clearly artificial, signaling to us intelligent life, reaching out. 3 Atlas hadn't malfunctioned. Rather, it had successfully fulfilled its purpose. For the last 72 crucial hours, I've been a vital member of an emergency task force established by NASA, the Department of Defense, and the National Security Agency, working tirelessly around the clock to grasp what we're truly dealing with. From our recent high-precision trajectory analysis, we have determined that 3E Atlas originated from the Iocus constellation, located about 400 light-years from Earth. This is highly significant because Iocus contains some of the densest star regions in our neighborhood of the galaxy areas, where civilizations could have potentially arisen billions of years before our own solar system came into existence. It was not drifting aimlessly. It was intentionally directed with pinpoint accuracy. What we are temporarily referring to as the rift is undoubtedly far more intricate and advanced than a simple tear. It represents a controlled destabilization of local spacetime, a technology that seems to function as some kind of dimensional gateway or communications portal. The complex mathematics required to accomplish this are, quite frankly, astounding. Creating a truly stable wormhole necessitates exotic matter with negative energy density. Along with meticulously manipulating the Casimir effect on scales we can barely theorize about. However, the deeply unsettling aspect is that we are continuously receiving a structured signal through the rift, and we have managed to partially decode it. The complex transmission is multifaceted, broadcasting simultaneously in gravitational waves, neutrino pulses, and modulated electromagnetic radiation. It is designed to be utterly impossible to overlook. Embedded deep within its data structure are mathematical proofs, sequences of prime numbers, and universal constancy, exact type of essential information we disseminated on the Voyager Golden Record, but exponentially more sophisticated. The message is unequivocally clear. We are not alone. We have never been alone. Furthermore, humanity's existence has been observed and studied meticulously for a far longer period than we have ever suspected. Over the past 40 years, there have been other events detected that were quietly classified. The famous WOW signal detected in 1977 was not random interference. It was a rift momentarily opening, like a massive door briefly cracking open before swiftly closing. We are immersed in a galaxy teeming with intelligence. Earth, our tiny blue marble orbiting an unremarkable yellow star, is positioned squarely within what can only be logically termed a cosmic quarantine zone. Humanity is currently being evaluated. 3E Atlas doesn't indicate an invasion. Rather, it represents a calculated action by an entity that has been patiently observing us, studying us, and waiting to see if we are ready to progress. Yet there is a significant issue. We are failing this test. Look closely at our actions. We engage in endless, senseless wars over arbitrary boundaries and contaminate our atmosphere for short-lived financial gain. From the perspective of a civilization capable of tearing holes in space-time, we must appear as naive children playing recklessly with matches in a room filled with highly flammable gas. The alien intelligence behind 3E Atlas is actively demonstrating what is genuinely achievable. They are showcasing technology far beyond our comprehension that should provoke us to respond with profound humility. They are essentially saying, this is what you could aspire to be, but first, you must survive yourselves. The rift is accelerating rapidly. In the last 48 critical hours, we have detected secondary emissions and bursts of exotic particles that seem to contravene conservation laws. It's as if something or someone is trying to break through to our side. Our computational models suggest that if the expansion rate remains unchecked, the rift will reach a critical threshold in exactly 63 days. After that pivotal moment, we have no idea what may follow. NASA has already initiated extensive contingency plans, but I am profoundly apprehensive about what we might uncover. What if the actual reason for our quarantine isn't to shield us from others, but to protect those others from us to contain the known virus of human aggression until we either successfully outgrow it or obliterate ourselves entirely? This very moment, as you are watching this video, might be the most crucial moment in human history. For the first time, we have irrefutable physical evidence that we are not the zenith of cosmic evolution. The universe is undeniably tracking our every move. Follow this channel closely as we decode the universe's final warnings. For what transpires in the next 63 days will determine if humanity claims its rightful place among the stars or tragically fades into obscurity in the annals of the galaxy. Tonight, I urge you to consider something. Step outside and gaze up at Jupiter, which is currently visible and glowing brightly in the eastern sky after sunset. Ask yourself this vital question. Are we prepared? Are we genuinely ready to confront whatever lies on the other side? The universe is patiently awaiting, and time is quickly running out. As we analyze the data pouring in from the Jupiter aperture, we are beginning to identify patterns that challenge the very foundations of the standard model of particle physics. My colleagues at CERN have been alerted via secure channels because the gravitational anomalies detected near the rift indicate that the Higgs field itself is being manipulated in a localized pocket. Imagine a technology so advanced that it doesn't merely utilize energy, it rewrites the very laws governing how matter interacts with the vacuum. This isn't just a discovery, it represents a paradigm shift that will render our existing textbooks outdated. We are witnessing signs of strange matter composition, of up, down, and strange quarks in a state of perfect stability that should only exist in the nuclei of neutron stars. However, here it is, serving as a structural stabilizer for a gateway. Additionally, the social ramifications of this revelation are staggering. The 14 individuals initially briefed on this included top military officials, leaders of G7 nations, and select scientists like myself. The debate that ensued behind closed doors was intense. Some advocated for immediate global disclosure, believing that the threat to Jupiter's orbital stability was a challenge all of humanity should confront together. Others, driven by fear and a desire to keep the status quo, argued for complete secrecy, fearing that confronting our insignificance would lead to societal collapse. Yet, I have faith in the resilience of the human spirit. I believe we have the right to know the truth regarding our origins and potential future, regardless of how daunting that truth may be. The 1.42 GHz signal, the hydrogen line, extends beyond a mere pulse. It possesses a recursive mathematical structure. After applying a Fourier transform to the signal's modulation, we discovered a three-dimensional map of our local star cluster. However, it wasn't a representation of where the stars currently are. Instead, it illustrated where they were 500 million years ago, with specific paths highlighted. These paths seem to imply ancient trade routes or communication channels used by civilizations that may have disappeared well before the first dinosaurs roamed the Earth. We are witnessing a galactic archaeology unfolding in real. The rift serves as a window into a past we never realized we were a part of. We are like ants discovering a highway that has existed for eons. Finally, understanding that the world is significantly larger than our small hill dot as the 63-day countdown presses on. The sensor arrays at the Mount Aya Observatory have detected a shift in the rift's color. It is changing from a void-like black to a shimmering iridescent violet, signaling a substantial increase in energy flux. If our calculations are accurate, the gateway is gearing up to transition from a passive monitoring state to an active transport state. We are unaware of who or what is on the other side, but we are certain that they are on their way. Are they ambassadors? Are they fleeing from a dying star? Or are they the gardeners of the galaxy, arriving to prune a species that has become too aggressive for its own good? With every passing hour, the data grows increasingly complex, and the burden of this secret becomes heavier. Hence, I am communicating with you now. The truth cannot remain concealed in the shadows of Jupiter's moons. It belongs to all of us.